Old Bloke Goes Nowhere. Part 4. Going Ape. So, this lockdown is getting more serious by the day, and I find myself staring at the window, envying squirrels and crows and stuff, as they live their wee lives, completely uninterrupted by the current viral situation. I'm lucky. At least I have a bit of a garden to walk about in, but others, basically trapped in flats or wee houses, must be going nuts. There's only so much TV you can take, and the endless virus updates are actually getting me down now. I certainly never thought I'd hear my kids run about the house shouting, "Look, Dad, quick! Boris is on!" But they are, crazy days. Still, chin up, and let's look at something out the window again. My house was built in the Victorian era, dating back to 1879 or so, and I suspect the thing I'm looking at right now was planted then too. They were all their age back then. I wonder if you can guess what it is. Well, mine's about 40 feet high, and it can live as much as 1,000 years. There are quite a few superstitions about this thing too, probably because it looks so unusual compared to other examples of its type. One being that if kids walked past it, they had to be quiet or it would bring them bad luck, or they would lose something, or it would even make them grow a monkey's tail. Oh, of course. Kids then started shouting as they passed these things, determined to get a monkey's tail. Yes, it's a monkey puzzle tree. Named, it's thought, by a man near Bodmin back in 1850, who commented that it would puzzle a monkey to climb that tree. The name Monkey Puzzler eventually shortened to Monkey Puzzle. In France, it's called Des Espoirs des Cygnes, or Monkey's Despair. The tree originates from the Andes in South America, and it's the national emblem of Chile, where it is thought the plant collector Archibald Menzies obtained some seeds and brought them back to Kew Gardens in 1795. The monkey puzzle tree is actually a very ancient species, dating back as much as 250 million years. Its spiky leaves evolving not to deter monkeys, but probably the first dinosaurs. This is just after the Great Permian-Triassic extinction, or the Great Dying, apparently caused by a series of great volcanic eruptions. These changed the environment so drastically that 97% of the world's species were killed off for good. You're probably familiar with the Cretaceous-Tertian extinction of 65 million years ago. You know, the big meteorite thing that hit the Earth and killed all the dinosaurs. And there's actually been 5 mass extinctions on Earth, as far as they know. The first, the end Ordovician mass extinction, happened a long time ago, around 540 million years ago. It was probably the second most severe. Pretty much all life was marine-based at that time, and around 85% of these species vanished forever too. The second extinction was the late Devonian mass extinction, about 375 to maybe 359 million years ago. And this is a very drawn-out extinction. Environmental changes happened over time and wiped out major fish groups and stopped new coral reefs forming for about 100 million years. The third extinction was that one I just mentioned, the Great Dying, the end Permian mass extinction. The largest extinction ever, as I said, because 97% of species were basically wiped out. The fourth one was the end Triassic mass extinction. Dinosaurs first appeared in the early Triassic period, but large amphibians and mammal-like reptiles were dominant land animals at the time. The rapid mass extinction that occurred 201 million years ago changed that. The fifth, and the one everybody knows about probably, is that one I mentioned already, the end Cretaceous mass extinction. Mass extinction. An asteroid slammed down on the Earth 66 million years ago or so, and is often blamed for ending the reign of the dinosaurs. And no, I'm not for 1 minute suggesting that Corona is dragging us to number 6 mass extinction. No. I'm afraid we are only one species. So even if it got a lot worse than we ever expected, chances are there'd still be at least 99.99% of other species all still kicking about. In another 3 million years, something will probably take our place as the apex predator. But that's wrong, because we're not actually apex predators. Humans aren't even at the top of the food chain. In fact, we're nowhere near the top. Ecologists rank species by their diets using a metric called the trophic level. Plants, which produce their own food, are given a rank of 1. These are as common as muck, being anything with green leaves. They produce their own food using photosynthesis. Anyway, I'll go into all that stuff another time, maybe, an example of an apex predator, and there's many, is a killer whale, for example. It can basically eat stuff, but stuff can't eat it or choose not to eat it. Anyway, back to the monkey puzzle tree. Ours is only about 40 feet high. It can grow twice that. And it's home to our magpies and our grey squirrels, who don't always get on. In fact, there are regular barneys between those two species. There are also other myths that say the devil himself lives in the monkey puzzle tree, and that they were planted at the edge of graveyards to stop him climbing up, spying on new additions, if you like. So one thing says he lives in the monkey puzzle tree, and the other myth says they planted them because they're too jaggy for the devil to climb into, so which one is it? And I reckon mums made up the other stuff as well, to stop their kids playing in these monkey puzzle trees. Run past them, or, be quiet when you go past them, all that kind of stuff, or they could give you a monkey's tail, because the spiky leaves probably injured kids at first. A bit like the Jenny Greenteeth story about keeping back for ponds. Still, we like our strange tree, and you must be careful not to go under the thing, though, when it sheds its lower branches. These branches are huge and weigh as much as 10 stone. They look like big mammoth tusks, I guess. The wood itself burns really well once dried, as do the spikes when they're dry. They seem to be full of some kind of oil. You can eat the seeds as well, just like pine nuts, and some have actually looked into cultivation, like growing these things and sort of harvesting them. But they take 40 years to reach sexual maturity, so that was banged in the head straight away. There are also male and female trees. We have a girl tree, just in case you're interested. And she produces these big cones. I'll never check for seeds, but maybe she can't produce any, as she needs a male tree to pass its pollen via the wind onto her. There's one along the street, another monkey puzzle tree that is. I must check what sex it is. All this talk about trees gets me thinking to when I was a boy. Up Christie Park with my mates, Gary, Charlie and Ian. We used to climb trees all the time. In fact, we used to go right down a hedge at Christie Park, probably about, 500 yards without touching the ground, going from tree to tree and bush to bush all the way down. And then we used to slide down a big kind of fir tree at the end. We even named trees. There was one called Jet we used to climb, and it was quite an easy one and got you quite high. One time we got chased by a gang, and I know we climbed that tree, and they actually ran underneath us and never seen us. I don't know how we managed that. Another time, they did see us. We were building a den, and when you built a den, it was great, but other gangs would come along and wreck it, and you'd do the same to theirs. But this gang were basically came upon us as we were kind of building the den, and there were more of them than us, and they kind of went for us. And we legged it. And I remember going one way, and the rest of the guys went the other way. And I ran down to Alexandria, where I live, along the main street, and I ducked into this shop without really looking at what kind of shop it was. And it's actually a shop called Mitchell's, and they sold books. And I pretended to be looking at books in the back of the shop. My wee shorts on, my t-shirt all covered in mud. And I was that frightened, I stayed there for ages until one of the women asked what I was doing. And out of embarrassment, I think I bought a book. It was £1, I think. And it was called The Secret of Spiggy Holes by Enid Blyton. And that was one of the first books I ever read, I think. So, getting chased got me into reading books, maybe. Talking of books, I've got another podcast to go these days. It's actually a kind of story. It was lying abandoned in my laptop for years, and I'm kind of trying to resurrect it a wee bit through the kind of media of a podcast, I guess. It's called Fermented, and it's a kind of thriller set in the pharmaceutical industry, a kind of fantasy thriller thing. Have a look, if you can, at Fermented. Anyway, enough of me nattering on. I hope you're all staying in and staying safe and staying well. So, if anyone's been listening, as usual, ta very much. And until next time, ciao for now.